Welcome, I'm Arleigh with Bike Shop Girl. In this video, I want to share with you my predictions for the electric bike market for 2022. This is coming from somebody that owned an electric bike shop, currently works for an electric bike brand, and talks to a lot of consumers, dealers, and other bike manufacturers. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you some predictions from my friends in the bike industry, including my coworkers at Tern Bicycles. It is early 2022 at the time of recording this. Over the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen a surge in electric bike growth. This could be due to the COVID bike boom, and it could also be great timing that people are finally grasping the power and freedom of an electric bike that removes so many barriers from getting more people on bikes. We are moving from the early adoption phase in the United States to the masses. And 2022 is going to be an exciting year for electric bikes. Now, let's get into these predictions with my imaginary crystal ball. The easiest prediction of all is that e-bike growth will continue to outpace non-electric bikes and even general electric vehicles. In markets like Germany, we have been seeing this for a while, but finally the US and UK are catching up. Due to more growth, more bike shops and bike brands will start releasing more e-bikes. Here in the US, that will probably look like more recreational bikes, road electric bikes, gravel electric bikes, mountain electric bikes. But with that increase, we will see a pickup of people wanting bikes that can replace cart trips. And if you know me, that is where I am most excited. This means fenders, lights, and built-in locks that come on most city bikes in Europe will become more popular and sought after here in the US. A great example of that would be the Tern HSD, a capable everyday e-bike that has built-in utility like carrying kids or cargo by design. When I owned my electric bike shop, I considered this bike the crossover of electric bikes. More legislation. With any hot market growth, the government will be involved to ensure that the products being released are safe. This could mean more laws around the classification of bikes, how fast they can go, how much assistance they get. Hopefully it means more requirements around how an e-bike is built and how the battery and electrical system are tested, like UL certification. More legislation can be really helpful for the growth of this market. And I believe we are going to see more local cities and communities getting involved in funding e-bike pilots, vouchers for e-bike credits, and sustainably minded communities really trying to get electric bikes into more people and businesses' hands that would replace car trips, parking spots, and congestion in their cities. E-bikes will continue to reinvent how people do business and solve complex mobility problems. With this larger adoption of e-bikes, we will see more businesses realizing e-bikes solve major problems easier and more affordably than a fleet of vans. We will also see more nonprofits growing the movement. There are already nonprofit e-bike shops like Good Turn in Denver, Colorado, but we are going to see brand new nonprofits, I hope, being set up to show the power of e-bikes that remove barriers, deliver goods, get people biking, our first last mile connections with e-bike share, and more. My very last prediction, specific to the bike industry. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be dealing with the supply chain constraints beyond 2022 and into 2023. There's a lot of demand. There's a lot of variables that are happening across this globe with the pandemic, potentially at its worst. So if you're thinking about an e-bike, I would recommend to go test one. If your local bike shop doesn't have the specific one you're looking for because of supply demands, find someone in your community so you can try their bike and get your perfect bike on back order, so you are getting your bike sooner than later. All right, those are my predictions. But I know a lot of really smart people in this industry, and I want to share a few more predictions from my coworkers and friends in the bike industry.
I'm Claudia Vasco, VP of Bosch E-Bike Systems Americas, and here are my 3 predictions for the year 2022. Number 1, surprise! The growth of e-bikes will continue. E-bike sales had been growing at a very impressive rate in the US even before the COVID-19 pandemic began. But ever since the pandemic started, sales of e-bikes have been skyrocketing, and e-bike sales aren't cooling off anytime soon, and not in 2022. The investment into an e-bike will become more affordable with the Build Back Better Act, which includes the so-called E-Bike Act, which is a 30% tax credit over 5 years for the purchase of an e-bike. So the tax credit can be applied to the purchase of a new e-bike, the first $3,000, up to a $900 benefit value. A great example of a growing segment within the e-bike arena are e-cargo bikes. They can't be overlooked anymore, as the number of cargo bikes on the road is really on the rise. This is a trend which will even accelerate more in 2022. As relatively small vehicles, they can easily replace a much bigger car when it comes to deliveries for the famous last mile or the weekly shopping for the family. Emerging market bring in new players. No wonder demand gave opportunities for new players, but also manufacturers with a long bicycle industry heritage are adding e-cargo bikes to their portfolio. Even the automotive industry is trying to benefit from the trend and presented some concept in the past years, and I just read that Volkswagen will take its first cargo bike into production this year. Number 2, e-bikes are becoming much smarter. So the main theme throughout this year is really smart and connected vehicles. So these little EVs are being built with more powerful onboard computers that are synced up to apps that can help riders to do things like find their vehicle, track fitness goals, and control bike functions like locks and lights. So with the introduction of our smart system, we at Bosch are also merging the physical experience of riding an e-bike with digital conveniences such as connectivity or personalization. Number 3, and that's really interesting, is the parallels to passenger car mobility segment. So we at Bosch, we consider our strengths, our design and our technical competence, but the important part is we take what we have within one domain, specifically in the automotive, and use that to support other means of mobility. As with cars, the next frontier for e-bikes is connectivity. So that theme was on full display last week during the CES Technology Show in Las Vegas. Software updates over the air, a feature we just introduced with our latest system generation, the smart system, is a great example. Or ABS in the area of safety. And we also see a trend to improve the safety to cyclists on the road. So with AI-based bicycle-to-vehicle communication systems that aim to keep cyclists safer by being visible to a car, even when its driver doesn't see them, that will be very essential.
Hi, I'm Ash Lovell. I'm the Electric Bicycle Policy and Campaign Director for People for Bikes. And when I think about the future of electric bicycles in 2022, I think about 3 things. First, the e-bike battery recycling program that we launched in 2021 is going to kick into high gear in 2022. This is a big deal. This was the first industry-wide battery recycling program for the transportation sector, and it's got tons of phenomenal brands on board. We're going to be rolling it out to retailers here soon to be collection sites, and we're going to be rolling it out to the public in probably about the fall. So really, really excited to be part of this sustainability solution, and it's also a safety solution, a great way for us to make sure that we are safely holding and transporting these end-of-life batteries. So that's my first. Second, electric mountain bikes are so wonderful, so fun, and so great for building more access for the great outdoors. So I'm really looking forward to helping introduce EMTBs into our public lands and getting more people outside and enjoying the great outdoors. And then third, I am so excited about the potential for commercial electric cargo bikes and trikes. And I think introducing this transportation mode, this freight delivery service into our urban centers is going to have a variety of excellent kind of outcomes, including decongestion and improving air quality and really getting us these goods that we so desperately want and need in a way that's more sustainable and, better for everybody. So really looking forward to a variety of different things that will be happening in 2022 in the electric bicycle space, and really looking forward to working with our industry members to make it all happen. Thanks.
Hey Arleigh, it's Dale with Tern Bicycles, Territory Manager for North America. 3 predictions about bikes for this year, 2022. Number 1, I predict that bikes will still make sense just like they have all these years. I recommend, if you're interested in a bike, go to your local bike shop, let them walk you through which bikes make the most sense, but not just the bike, the accessories too, to complement what you need for your particular ride and use. So keep that in mind. Bikes will still make sense. Number 2, bikes, there will be new products coming out this year. We've been so caught up in supply chain and what's not available and all these challenges. Bikes will still be developed, they're still in development, and you will see some cool and new things for this coming year. Keep paying attention to social media, keep paying attention to what your bike shops tell you. There will be some new accessories, there will be some new bikes. Number 3, supply chain will still be a challenge. We're already feeling it, and it's only January. Containers are hard to get a hold of, so there are shipping challenges. There are some delays with some suppliers, so that's going to be a thing still for 2022. So please be patient with your brands. Please be patient with your dealers. Things are moving, I would say, better than 2021 so far. The things that we're seeing are really positive and good. So I hope that helps you out as you look into 2022. Thank you very much for all your support, and we hope you have a great year.
Here's a few from my friend Michael, who works at Ride Report, which is a micromobility reporting service.
Really excited about 2022, going to be another huge year for e-bikes. I've got 3 predictions. The first, for shared e-bikes, I think they're going to continue to expand to be a larger part of shared micromobility fleets. So in addition to scooters, a lot of operators brought e-bikes back to the mix globally, and I think that's just going to increase, particularly as operators in cities move towards a more public-private partnership model, expanding micromobility more generally. We know that shared e-bikes are sort of the gateway drug for e-bikes and biking more generally, because it's a great way for people to try out e-bikes without having to spend a lot of money or worry about things like theft, maintenance, repair. Second prediction is accelerating infrastructure. So the federal bill is rolling out. I think all of us are really hoping that we can see a lot more protected bike lanes and things that make biking much safer. But also there's a lot of money for electric vehicle charging infrastructure. There's no reason that has to be just for cars. Those can be for mobility hubs, when you think about it more globally, for all kinds of vehicles, particularly e-bikes and other form factors that are lightweight, low speed. And then the third thing is with the explosive growth in private e-bike ownership that will be accelerated by the federal subsidy, I think there's going to be also an explosion in creativity around e-bike theft. So I expect to see companies really doing a lot to think about anti-theft measures, security measures as part of the bikes, and there's going to be a lot of growth in that also in 2022. looking forward to see what happens.
And last but certainly not least, let's hear from a few of my bike shop friends.
Hey Arleigh, it's Davey Oil. You asked me to record some predictions for 2022 in the world of e-bikes. So here's what I think. I think that we're going to see tens of thousands of new families choosing to use electric bikes and electric cargo bikes to replace their car trips. Many, if not all, of their car trips. I think that that's going to be enabled by a growing sector of more affordable bicycles and a growing sector of vastly improved bicycles technologically. And that leads me to my second prediction, which is that I think that we're going to see something shocking in the technology that's supporting electric bicycles. And I don't know if by that I mean bicycle equipment, like much more efficient batteries, or improved braking systems, more reliable braking systems, or if that could mean a new technology in terms of business model for repair, support, and supply. But I think we're going to see some important changes in one of those areas. And then thirdly, sadly, I think that we're going to see a serious contraction in the business. I think that the relatively small number of specialty electric bike shops in North America is probably going to shrink, because I think that the cost of doing business is increasing rapidly. And unfortunately, the support networks for independent dealers just really aren't there. So I think we're going to see fewer shops. Hopefully, we can recover from that, and hopefully the alternative business models will still be able to support people well. But it ties back to the other two, which is that the infrastructure and supplies need to be intact and good quality for the users. And the users need those because the world needs us, because we're called right now. We're called to drive less, and we're called to consume more responsibly and efficiently. And I believe that we are able to do it because we're e-bikers, and that's what we're for. Okay, love you. Talk to you later.
Hi everyone, this is Beth from Bikes in Vienna. So my prediction for e-bike sales in 2022 is that we're going to sell double the number of e-bikes we sold in the past year, especially if the e-bike tax credit gets passed.
Alrighty, thank you to everyone that chimed in on their predictions for 2022's e-bike market. I would love to hear yours in the comments below, so make sure to add them. Until next time, thank you for watching. Stay well, stay good, and remember, bike more and worry less.